Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As the name suggests, this video is going to be about the types of product management cases that can help you prepare better for your PM interview or if you've just started in this field. So I'm going to cover three main things in all the case types. First is the goal that you're trying to achieve. Second is the skill that you will be tested on or the skills that you will be tested on. And third is a reference approach that you can follow to solve that particular case type. So there are typically three main case types in any product management interview, and I'm not saying that this is the universe of the cases that you will get, but mainly these are the three case types that you should definitely be prepared for. First is the product design case, second is the root cause analysis case, and third is the strategy case. So the first case type is the product design case type, and the primary goal that you're trying to achieve here is to show that you understand the real reason of why you're building a product, and you understand the customers that you're going to target and how are you going to build features which are going to be of utmost value to that particular customer. And you also have to show some aspects of your design understanding in this particular case type. So the skills that you'll be tested on for this case type will be, first, how well do you communicate and how well do you get answers to the right questions. Second is how well do you empathize with your customers. So once you identify the persona that is going to be targeted through your product, you have to show that you are empathetic to the problems of that particular persona, and how do you make the product solve those problems and delight the customer. So customer obsession is also one skill that you have to show in this case type. Third skill is to be able to articulate things very efficiently in a time crunch, which you can achieve by noting down everything on the paper. Fourth is having a design understanding. So make sure that you build very small wireframes. Wireframes in simple language are just drawings of how you envision that product to be, the design of that product to be. So just keep simple wireframes on the sheet and show them to the interviewer to just give an idea of what you're trying to build. And fourth skill is to not jump at conclusions. This is the biggest mistakes that a lot of PMs do. I have also made this in the past, and there is a certain bias that is there in all of our minds. So sometimes that comes in the product, and that is definitely not a good thing to do as a PM. So non-biased decision making is also one of the skills that you'll be tested on. So how you approach this is simply by starting with asking why this product is needed. What is the company's plan to achieve by building this product? So the goals and the success metrics that you're going to try to achieve. Once you're clear on that, if you're not clear, keep asking. But if you're clear on that, just express that this is why I'm clear that you need this product. So I will start designing it. Once you start designing it, make sure that you understand your customer segment, the personas that you're going to be addressing. So personify your customer segment into 2 or 3 main personas or 2 or 3 main categories, and then you select 1 or 2 at max personas to design your product for or to build your product for. After your personas are clear and in place, start understanding what are the pain points and the needs of that particular persona. And do not start building features at that point. Right now, you're just trying to think from that particular person's mind, which is the empathy aspect, and do not jump to features. Once you understand that these are the pain points and the needs that you're trying to solve for, then you start translating them into few features but strong features. So keep your features very targeted, strong and simple. At the same time, have one delight feature which is a very innovative feature. Do not go into implementation, and nobody will ask you how are you going to go about it. And if they do, then make sure that you have some knowledge. If I say that I'm going to build a social dating platform on blockchain technology, I should be knowing what blockchain technology is. But you don't have to go into the implementation aspects. So you just have to understand a bit about that particular innovation that you are stating or that you're recommending. And lastly, always wireframe your design. If your interviewer tells you not to, you can stop, but always try to show pictorially what you are imagining and what you are thinking. That will also increase your articulation in a very good manner. The second case type will be the root cause analysis. Now, a product manager has to do a lot of root cause analyses in his or her daily life, and that is why this case type is a very important as well as a very difficult case type if you are a beginner. So make sure that you start with easier problems of which the root cause you're trying to find, and then you develop onto the tougher and the more complex problems. So a typical example can be, do a root cause analysis of my cart additions going down by 15% in the last 2 days. Now here I've given you a lot of information, but sometimes the information you get is very limited, so you have to go about finding a lot about the problem itself, which we'll cover in the approach. But the goal that you're trying to achieve here is to show your 360-degree thinking power, to show that you're not unidirectional, but you can weed out the unimportant information, facts, and you can reach to the right information at the right time. You also are going to be focusing on holding a very good conversation and not start assuming things. In the root cause analysis problem, you can never ever assume things. You have to always ask them and get it confirmed and write it on that paper. The skills that you're going to be tested on are: 1, how do you understand the life cycle of a particular product? How do you consider all aspects of a life cycle and also the external factors? How do you stitch information together and arrive at the correct problem? More often than not, you will be required to give an answer of the particular root cause that is behind a problem. But do not get scared if you're not able to get to the root cause. Your approach will also be considered and evaluated, and if your approach is correct but you're just not able to hit that particular nail on the head, it is still sometimes excused. However, make it a practice that you always do it, always start considering all aspects and build a framework around it so that you do not miss out on essential information and you do tend to arrive at the root cause of the problem. So the approach that you're going to follow is understand what is the problem first. So if cart addition has gone down by 15%, how has it impacted the company and why is it a problem? Apart from the fact that the revenue is going to fall down if the addition in the cart is going down, but what is the exact challenge and what are the exact areas that particular problem is impacting? Once you understand that, understand which customers are impacted. Is there anything peculiar about the customers who are impacted? Is the geographical element same for all the customers impacted, or is it something dependent on the geographical aspects? Is there any marketing related change that has taken place? Any campaign, any PR initiative or something on those lines? Is there any internal website development or upgrade that has come up if it's an app? Is there any downtime that has been experienced in a particular day or in particular days? And then once you get answers to all these, and if there is none of these are the reasons, then you go into the life cycle of the customer. So right from logging in, signing up, opening the app, opening the website, or starting to use the product, to that particular juncture where this problem is happening, you cover all aspects and all milestones of that particular cycle, and then you start asking questions whether the login was a problem, whether the login screen was visible, whether the passwords were being taken correctly. You cover all the aspects of that particular point in the life cycle, and then you cover all points, and somewhere in that life cycle your problem's root cause will be there. If it happens that the interviewer stops you in between and tells that okay fine, just move ahead, it's okay, just move ahead. Do not try to argue with your interviewer. Probably they have already gotten their understanding of how you solve the problems, and that's why they are telling you to move on. The third case type is the product strategy case type, in which there might be multiple things that might be asked. How would you improve retention? How would you improve engagement? Some metric that you have to improve, some metric that you're supposed to improve, or some go-to-market strategy that you're supposed to build. So in that case, the goal that you're trying to achieve is to understand the product's offerings and the product's benefits versus the gaps in the product's offerings for the particular persona that the product is targeted or made or designed for. Once you understand that, once that goal is met, you can then recommend any strategic changes or any strategic implementations which would make sense, because you've rightfully understood the products offerings, the benefits, the disadvantages, and the gaps, if any, in addressing the pain points of the customers that the product is made for. The skills that you'll be tested on are actually many in this type of a case. First is to be able to think about various aspects of a product. A product is not just made to sell in the market. A product is made to sometimes build the brand value, or sometimes address a specific pain point, or sometimes to create a new niche in the market, or sometimes to cross-sell other products. So understand the purpose of that product. The other skill is communicating clearly about what you understand of that particular product, and also the kind of recommendations that you're making. You have to make sure that you are not saying things up in the air. You have to show your analytical abilities. So you have to ask for data from the interviewer and give your recommendations based on that particular factual or any other information that your interviewer has provided you. If you're making assumptions, again, be very vocal about those assumptions. Always note them down and try to get them validated from your interviewer. The third skill that you'll be tested on is how well do you plan. So for any strategy, implementation, or a change, you will be expected to give a plan out there. How would you start? How would you, what are the areas that you will be focusing on? Who are the people that you will be talking to? What is the kind of timelines you're looking at? So your planning abilities and your project management abilities are also going to be tested in this kind of a case type. In terms of approach, how you start is basically you understand the question. So do not take things on face value. Always clarify things. Once you understand or the metric that you're trying to measure, then ask more about the company strategy, about the vision, about the products, about the other product lines, and about what this product is doing for its customers. The third thing is to ask for as much data as possible, and if at all you are asked to make assumptions, then do guesstimates. So if you don't know what a guesstimate is, I will link down an article for that. But basically you just assume certain things, assume or take a guess of certain numerical data about the number of customers, about the number of players in the market, about the kind of revenue that particular company or an industry might be making, and then based on those guesstimates you then give your recommendations that because this is what I understood that the product does, this is what I understood that your company is trying to achieve, and this is what retention or engagement or churn means for your company, and these are the numbers. Based on all this information, I recommend that you increase your marketing in order to make customers more aware about the different benefits of that particular product, and hence your retention might increase. This is just a hypothetical recommendation. So that's it for this video. I hope you found it helpful, and if you need any more guidance or help, please comment below or connect with me on my professional network. Commenting below will make it easier for me to respond to you. So if you have questions, please don't hesitate. But if you want to ask certain specific questions, you can also connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'm usually very responsive there as well. I wish you all the best for your PM preparation journey, and please stay safe, please take care. Bye. Be very be very calculative, be very direct with those assumptions. If I say that I'm going to build